And welcome back to another lesson of the Logos and Letters. My name is Liam, and we're starting off chapter 10 today. Looking forward to it. Again, hypermenun, right? I want to speak about that grammar. I really do, because look what he's about to say. Like hypermenun ton protethenton genon hikana da airaimena. So it's like he's got this forceful set of particles here combining together, and with the genitive like purpose, hyper. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's purpose. It's like because it can be like hyper and genitive can mean like above or on behalf of, for the sake of, sort of like dia, but this is clearly the purpose. Hypermenun ton protethenton genon hikanata reimena. Like enough has been said about the put forth genera. Sufficient, like enough has been said. Hikana. And okay, fair enough, right? He wants to move on now. All right, so he wants to move on. Perideton antikaimenon, right? Things set against each other, like against, sort of anti-kaimenon, like established, set against each other. But how we'll translate that without taking so much time is opposites. All right, but another word on that later. Posokos aorten, right? So in how many ways can they be, how many ways can they be put forth? Antikaistai, the opposites, those things in the state of being opposed, right? Antikaistai, the infinitive there, phration, ought to be said, and there as well, his tone has changed. We've got the gerund. I don't know if we've ever seen him use the gerund so far. I think maybe twice, maybe phration. Could just be getting it mixed up with something in the accusative. Anyway, but he's also using it with a infinitive. So when you get the genitive, the gerund and the infinitive, okay, let me just tell you, for those people who aren't learning Greek, that's uncommon. In Latin, that's quite common. Well, much more common than in Attic Greek. But it's like it's necessary. It really should be done. It's a very forceful way of saying something. This should be done. So phration antikaisa, it means really we should talk about it now. Really, it should be said. All right. So he wants to move on from this, and really, guys, we've got to speak about this now. Right. So hope you get that force and feel, even if you don't know Greek. I wanted to set that up so we're all on the same wavelength. Okay, we're all on the same wavelength now that we're on important territory. We're moving on. All right. Legatai de heteron heteroi antikaistai. Those things opposed are spoken of the one to the other. Doesn't that sound familiar? Chapter 7. No, chapter 8. I'm getting chapter 7 and 8 mixed up. It's been a blur, guys. It's been a blur. The heteron heteroi antikaistai tetrakos. How many times? How many ways? What manifold amount of ways? Tetrakos, 4 ways, right? Tetrakos e hosta prosti, right? So let me highlight this actually. That'd be smart. Hosta prosti, okay, that's 1. Hosta anantia, that's another. Hos steresis kai hexis, that's another. And hos kataphasis kai apophasis. Kataphasis. See how much of a difference it makes when I pronounce it differently? What was I saying? Kataphasis. That's a very English way of stressing the word, but it's kataphasis and apophasis, right? So yeah, awesome. My blunder became a lesson. Okay, so we've got 4 different ways of things being opposed. Things can be opposed in 4 different ways. Now, a word opposed doesn't mean the modern sense of opposition or opposed as today. Okay, so So that's my recording stuff. I reckon my image is gone, but anyway, I'll keep this brief. So oppose just means anything that follows this rule here, guys. Look, heteron heteroi, antikaistai, set in opposition one to the other. Or in our logic context, something that implies the other. And you go, isn't that just like a relative? Yeah, it is just like a relative. Look, we've got relatives there. That's one species, I guess you could say, or a genus of opposition. Genus in its own right, of course. Species in relation to this idea of opposition. Right? Opposition is almost like its own supreme genus in a way, but I'll speak more to that later. So if you can hear rain, by the way, that is rain. It's raining here in Sydney at the moment. Hosta nantia. Right, so nantia, that's contraries. You'll recognize that one. Steresis, kaihexis. Steresis, related to the word sterile, actually. It means like absent from. An absence of something that you should have, or that you could have, or it's in your right to have. So steresis, kaihexis, right? And having, okay? And was kataphasis. Kataphasis is affirmation or a joining of a predicate to a subject, and apophasis is separating or denying, negating a predicate from a subject. Okay? Antikaitai, so opposed, dehekaston ton toyuton hostipoi, right? Like types, like species. Aipain said, saying, hosmenta prosti, right? The relatives, hoyon to diplasion toi hemisai. So we speak of these these opposed things and what they're opposed to, don't we? So the double and then the half. Hosta nantia, contraries, hoyon to kakon, the wicked, toi agathoi, the good. And yes, Agatha, the name, the female name Agatha, means good woman or good female. And it comes from this word. So we can see here that the dative being used, toi agathoi, is I can't tell if it's a dative of of judgment. There's a dative of judgment, or if it's a dative of measure, but it's one of them. They have similar uses. Hosteta kata stereisin kahexin hoyon tuflotes, right? Blindness, kaihopsis, right? So it's in our nature, opsis, to have opsis, to have sight, to have vision. Opsis, I prefer vision, but I'll use sight sometimes too. Tuflotes, blindness, okay? It's not in our nature to be born blind. So that's a steresis, right? You can say your vision is sterile if you want. But that has overtones, doesn't it? Anyway, tuflotes, okay, so blindness and opsis. Maybe it's good I don't have the images up right now because there are so many new words here, so many concepts. Hoste, kataphasis, kai apophasis, hoyon kathetai, kathetai, right? Someone's seated, someone's not seated, all right? So that's kataphasis is he is seated, right? I'm joining seated to him, whoever that might be. All right. So let's say, yeah, you get it. And apophasis, denying that he's seeing, taking away that predicate from the subject. Okay. So he is not seated. So yeah. Okay. So that's a whirlwind as well. He's gone through all four, but here it is. Here it is. Hear me up. This whole chapter is dedicated to this topic. So if you think, oh my God, this is the densest stuff, why is he covering so much ground all of a sudden, you know, between the last chapter and this chapter, it's all sped up. No. Relax. Chapter 10's a long one. Okay. It goes into all sorts of these things. And when you come out of it, you can see the four types of opposition very clearly. You can understand them proficiently, and you can apply them competently. Okay, so yeah, it's a very good chapter. It's very enjoyable. Sometimes it gets quite technical. However, you can see and take away from this lesson that there are four types of And typoi, type, species is a good way of saying it, for species of opposition. Okay, 4 ways things can be opposed. And again, relatives, contraries. We have affirmation and negation, and then the other one, steresis, a lack of something that you should have in your nature, and hexis, right? So having something that's in your nature. Okay, so hexis can also mean habit, of course. That's not what it means here when it's placed with steresis. All right, when it's with steresis in that sort of context, it just means a general having. All right, we have a habit, of course. That's why those 2 ideas are so closely related and translatable by this word. But yeah, I'm just exploring the difference for you. So yeah, hope that was useful. Hope that lesson was interesting. We have so much more to cover. If you feel like I don't understand all 4 modes of opposition, then you're in for a treat, because there's so much more to cover. If you feel like you've already understood it, awesome. We're going to go so much deeper. All right, we deeper and higher, both. Okay, and wider too. We're going to explore all 3 dimensions. All right. So if you feel like you've already understood it, you're in for a treat as well, because we're going to apply it to things like straight away in the next lesson, knowledge. All right. So knowledge, and look, he's just episteiton. We haven't seen that word in a while. So yeah, I'll leave it there. It doesn't need to be any more complex than that. I'm just showing you what's on the menu, explaining what the ingredients are, providing some examples. Okay, maybe there's some images on the menu that you're looking at. I know that's actually quite a common practice these days, so that might not seem strange. And yeah, all right. So if that's whet your appetite, that's awesome. If not, I'll do my best to improve upon that in the next lesson. So, as always, si semper fortis in opere tuo. My name is Liam, and I'll see you next time.